The recipient of the Illinois Treasurer's Office Award for Outstanding Achievement in Business is Trez Pugh III. With a Bachelor of Science in Information and Decision Sciences and a minor in economics from the University of Illinois Chicago, Trez Pugh III is the founder and CEO of Savor, Inc., a company that owns and runs high-end coffee houses on the Southside of Chicago. In addition to being the CEO, he also works a full-time job for the U.S. government. He prides himself on being a mentor, volunteering with at-risk kids through the Becoming a Better Man project. Trez's passion has always been to contribute to the community by creating jobs, mentoring youth, and inspiring others to believe in themselves and to work hard to achieve their dreams. Trez's love of community and his success in real estate led to the birth of his own coffee houses over a decade ago. His love affair with coffee and teas intensified with his first launch, the Bronzeville Coffee House on 43rd Street, which later reopened as Sip and Savor. So Trez, when did you acquire a taste for coffee?
That's a good question. I'm still acquiring a taste after 17 years. Coffee is so multifaceted that you always learning different things. I mean, climate, where it's grown, what part of the country. You got your roasters that blend coffee from Nicaragua, from Uganda, Ethiopia. So I really didn't drink coffee for the first 7 years I was in business, but now I'm learning more. So I'm still acquiring the taste. My palate is a work in motion, I guess.
Well, there are a lot of people who love coffee, and I'm sure you hope that even more do, but not everyone takes the steps you did. So what motivated you to open a coffee shop?
Well, to be totally honest, a childhood friend talked me into it, and I really wasn't looking at doing it. At the time, I was investing in real estate. My daughter was about to go to college. I was building my home, so I didn't want no more on my plate. But I thought I was just going to be the landlord because I own the building. Well, it ended up being more than that. I ended up being a partner. So I kind of got duped into the business.
Well, that's not all that uncommon. People will fall in. But for people who want to get started in business, who knowingly have it as a goal, we know there are a lot of obstacles. What advice would you give to someone looking to start a business?
I would say do your due diligence. Make sure you do a lot of research. Do it because you have a passion for it. Don't go into it, Mike, to try to just make money. Find out if there's a need for what you're trying to do. And if it's something already out there that you're doing, you got to ask yourself, what's going to differentiate you from these other people that's doing it? In my case, the Starbucks, the Dunkin' Donuts, the Pete's Tea and Coffee. So have a passion, do your research, listen a whole lot more than you talk, and surround yourself with people that have a certain skill set because you can't do it yourself.
Right. That's great advice about having a passion because it's easy to say you want to do it to make money, but you're going to run into obstacles. You're going to hit problems. And if you don't love what you're doing, it's even harder. And
Indeed.
speaking of challenges and obstacles, the pandemic hit us a couple of years ago.
Yes, Lord.
How have you dealt with these struggles and how have you come through?
Well, one thing that's consistent in life is change. And this was a big one. So what we had to do as an organization is step back and look at our business model because we knew this was going to be here a while. So we had to adjust. We had to pivot. As most people say, you had to be creative and innovative. So what we started doing, since we couldn't do the things we usually do, like having a bunch of people in the coffee house for meetings, seminars, and things like that, we started relying on technology. So I launched my mobile app where people could order from their phone and we would bring it out to their car, or they could, come in, pick it up and leave. Another thing we did that helped out considerably, at my 43rd Street location, I have the windows that open up so people don't have to come in. So I partnered with a couple chefs and they would do meals for people, prepaid meals. I would let them use my location where people could come and pick it up and they could just come right up to the window. We'll check off their name and they can grab a steak dinner or they can grab some vegetables or a salad. And what it allowed us to do is make a little money on renting the place out. And it allowed the chefs and their employees to keep a little money in their pocket also.
Well, Trez, that's great. you talked about how you'd be flexible in the field and deal with different things and find solutions. That reminds me of people who spent time in the military. So I didn't discuss in your bio, but how did military service impact your career?
Well, I was in the Marine Corps from 1983 to 1987, spent some time overseas in Japan, Korea, the Philippines, and the like. The one thing, well, it's a bunch of things I learned in the military, but being in the Marine Corps, which is a real tough branch, they teach you fortitude, discipline, structure. You got to have resilience or you're not going to make it. It's just simple as that. You're going to get weeded out. So I transferred them skills over along with what I learned from my dad: humility, empathy, passion. You blend that and put it in a cocktail with fortitude, stay in power, resilience, and discipline. You have a real good hybrid of character. And that really helped me as far as dealing with customers, dealing with vendors, politicians, or whoever else I had to deal with, to be able to garner or curate a relationship which was reciprocal. And I tell people to this day, I would have never survived the pandemic, especially with 4 locations, if I didn't have the relationship I had with some of my landlords, some of my banks, and my vendors, because there was no revenue coming in, but people still needed to be paid. And to be real brief, before I could call, because I'm a proactive guy, I'm not a reactive, I would be calling banks, calling my landlords. Before I can call certain people, they were calling me and say, "Hey, Trez, we got a relationship with you for over 10 years. You're a stand-up guy. You're transparent. We good for the next 6 months. We good for the next 4 months. Just, handle your business, do what you have to do." And that was real touching to me.
Okay. Well, it sounds like it wasn't just the military was a great training for the kind of work problems you experience in business, but sounds like a whole village, including your family, who helped get you here.
Indeed.
Now, you've had success in business. We give this award based on your success in business, but you also give back to the community and give back to a lot of young people as a mentor. So as we wrap things up here, what words of wisdom would you share with individuals who want to follow in your footsteps, people who want to be agents of change in their community?
Man, you make me sound like I'm really doing some good things. Success is relative, and I appreciate the award and I appreciate all your kind words, but it's so much to being an entrepreneur and a businessman. And my advice to a lot of people is, don't necessarily follow in my footsteps. I mean, you could take some of my strategies and tactics and some of my objectives, but put your own little twist on it, because I made a lot of mistakes, and I try to share that with people too when it comes to building a business. I would also say, going back to the piece on listening more than you speak, surround yourself with people that's doing it in the business. It's hard to take advice from people that haven't opened a business, haven't failed at a business, or haven't succeeded in the business. So my biggest advice to them be humble. Whatever you think you need as far as capital, add another 40 to 50% on that. Take your time. You can't do it all yourself. Surround yourself with people that want to see you win. That's most important. Just real quick, my collaboration now, we got a big brunch coming up with a chef. It's a collaboration to help her build her business, to help my business get some of her clientele. She's going to see some of my clientele on February the 12th. It's things like that you do to let you know you need other people to help you be successful.
Well, Trez, I would say that is great advice in the world of business. It's great advice in life in general. Surround yourself with good people. Those people who are trying to drag you down, you got to have time for them. Surround yourself with people who have your back, and then give back to the community as well.
Indeed, indeed.
You have done that in your career, and that's why you were chosen by my office for the award for outstanding contributions in business. Trez, congratulations, and thank you very much for joining me here today.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for the award. It means a lot.